Today's video is on the top 5 most dangerous foods.
Number 5. Casu marzu. Casu marzu is an Italian delicacy, but you'll want to think long and hard about whether you actually want to try it, because it's the most dangerous cheese made anywhere on Earth. It's from the island of Sardinia and is made with sheep's milk. Production of this cheese begins like any other, but once it's curdled, the crust is cut off to allow flies to enter and lay their eggs. After this, it's stored away for 3 months to give the eggs time to hatch into larvae, who then begin to eat the cheeses. It's the excretions of these larvae that give the final product its unique flavor, which is described as being similar to a very ripe gorgonzola. Casu marzu is banned in most places, but if you do try it, it's important to make sure the maggots are still alive. Otherwise, it could be a sign that the cheese is bad. Tradition says that you should keep your eyes closed while you try to eat it to protect you from jumping maggots. And it's vital that you fully chew each bite to make sure you don't swallow any whole. Number 4. Peanuts. Peanuts are a great snack, whether you're on a long plane journey and need a salty kick, or when they're coated with a candy shell. But they're also one of the most dangerous foods to eat because so many people have allergies to them. About 1% of the population is at risk from an allergic reaction from either eating or simply coming in contact with peanuts. According to the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, they are the most common cause of food allergy deaths. And for some unknown reason, the proportion of people with allergies is increasing. Between 1997 and 2002, for example, incidences of peanut allergies in children more than doubled. Still, with more than 44 million tons of peanuts being produced worldwide every year, and in the US, each person consumes an average of 6 pounds per year, with the total sales exceeding $2 billion, half of which is on peanut butter alone. Number 3. Ackee. Ackee is a fruit that originated in West Africa, but after being taken to the Caribbean in the 18th century, it has become the national fruit of Jamaica and a crucial part to the country's national dish, ackee and saltfish. Despite being such a popular and delicious fruit, there's a danger with ackee, one that's led it to be completely banned in the US and many other countries. The fleshy part of the fruit around the black seed is what's eaten, but if it isn't ripe at the time when it's prepared, it contains high levels of hypoglycin, an amino acid that will significantly lower your blood sugar. Consuming unripe ackee is the cause of Jamaican vomiting sickness, which can cause vomiting, loss of consciousness, seizures, and death. The illness affects hundreds of people a year across the Caribbean and Africa, and during the 3-month period of 2001, 60 people in Haiti were poisoned by eating ackee, which resulted in 36 deaths. Ackee is definitely something worth trying if you're in Jamaica, but make sure that the fruit is ripe or prepared by someone who knows what they're doing. Otherwise, it could be the last meal you'll ever eat. Number 2. Sannakji. Fresh sushi is a popular dish around the world, but one controversial delicacy from Korea can be as dangerous as it is visually impressive. Known as Sannakji, it's prepared by slicing up live octopus and serving instantly. The species used is called the octopus minor, or nakji in Korean, and is often referred to as baby octopus because it's so much smaller than a giant octopus. The dish is actually available in select restaurants around the world, and although it has a mild flavor, it's the chewy and slimy texture that keeps people coming back for more. The legs are traditionally served with sesame oil and seeds to enhance the ocean-fresh aroma, but there's a risk involved in eating it, and it's blamed for at least 6 deaths a year. Octopuses have an incredibly complex nervous system, and more than 2/3 of their neurons are located in their tentacles, which is why they're able to react so quickly to threats. Because the dish is served so fresh, nerve activity continues in the tentacles even though they have been disconnected from the brain, so they still move on the plate as you eat it. Even the suckers continue to function and can attach themselves to your throat as you're swallowing, which presents a serious choking hazard, especially when intoxicated. It's recommended to ensure the tentacles are properly chewed before swallowing, but even this doesn't completely prevent them from moving. Take it a step further, some Koreans like to eat the entire octopus whole. To do this, they wrap them around chopsticks and take it in one go. Even once you've begun to chew, again, the tentacles take on a life of their own, so it's important to chew it correctly. That's if you can get over the ethics of eating an animal this way. Number 1. Fugu. Fugu is a Japanese delicacy that's made from blowfish, but it's so dangerous that it's banned in many countries around the world, and it takes chefs between 7 and 10 years to learn how to prepare it, with tests including a written exam and having to create the dish in front of experts before being certified. 1/3 of all who try do not pass this rigorous examination. The danger comes from the presence of tetrodotoxin in the fish's ovaries, eyes, skin, blood, liver, and intestines, a chemical that's said to be more than 1,200 times as deadly than cyanide. Each fish has enough tetrodotoxin to kill 30 people, and just a tiny slither of poisoned flesh is enough. It's a particularly painful way to go. First, you experience a numbness around the mouth, then full-body paralysis, and finally, death, with those unfortunate enough to be poisoned remaining fully conscious throughout. There's no antidote to tetrodotoxin poisoning, so it's crucial that the blowfish is prepared properly in the first place. There are more than 120 different varieties of fugu, 50 of which are found in Japan, but only 22 are edible. Tora fugu, also known as tiger fugu, is the most popular and tastiest, but also the most expensive, partly because of the danger aspect, but also because of the unique texture of fugu. It remains a highly prized dish, with establishments charging anywhere between $40 and $300 for a tasting menu. People are, of course, willing to pay the extra to ensure it's been served by an expert. But despite the precaution, there are, on average, 2 deaths per year from poisoning. These mainly happen because fishermen try to prepare the delicacy themselves, and there's only one recorded incident of someone being mildly poisoned in a restaurant since the year 2000. Honorable mentions. Hot dogs. As such, a popular food across the US and worldwide, it's perhaps a surprise to think of hot dogs as being a dangerous food. But their shape and size means that they are the #1 cause of food-related choking in children under the age of 3, accounting for 17% of incidents, which is far more than those caused by hard candy, grapes, or nuts. While all foods have the potential to block the airway, hot dog sausages have just the right size and consistency to cause an obstruction, and can form a perfect plug in the throat that prevents air from getting through. Children without a full set of teeth to chew are most at risk, so the advice from doctors, if giving hot dogs to them, is to mince them or thinly slice them before letting a child eat one. Shellfish. A study in 2017 that looked at the medical records of 3 million Americans found that about 4% of the population suffered from a food allergy, with shellfish, such as shrimp or lobster, being one of the most common problems. Those who are allergic can suffer symptoms ranging from hives, itching, or swelling to difficulties in breathing or anaphylaxis, which can block the entire airway and is life-threatening. Because of the extreme risk that shellfish pose to some people, standards have to be in place at restaurants and food processing facilities to ensure that there's no risk of contamination. Often all it takes is the smallest piece to trigger a reaction that could be deadly.
I hope you all enjoyed today's video, narrated by Zach this time. Be sure to subscribe for more and check out some of our recent uploads.